Hello, it's Sis Volk. Time to enjoy card making with me. In this video I will show you how to make a mask for stencils like this one, where you need to mask everything before you can color one letter or one part of the stencil. When you struggle with masking tape or other tapes or post-it notes, keep watching, I have the perfect solution for you. You can make something using a laminator. But don't worry if you don't have one. Just regular white tape can also do the trick. Or some small tape. I will show you two ways to make a quick and long-lasting mask. You will need a ruler and a cutting blade, or if you want to make it quick and easy, a pair of scissors, and you will need a pencil. Both masks I make will work for both the upper and lowercase letter stencils. But this trick you can of course use for many of your masking stencils that have patterns that you want to cover often. Because why always mask off each and every letter with masking tape when it can be done so much easier? Yes, I know, I did it in my last videos. But I promised you that I would show you how to make something that will help you enormously. To start, take a piece of paper. I have a sheet of 220 grams. Then we eyeball what the middle is of that sheet and start tracing one of the larger letters. Let's take the letter M. You don't have to trace the whole letter. Only the sides will do. The Z is also a large one. Place it on the same spot as the letter M. And only trace the parts of the letter that extend beyond the previous letter. You can check for a few letters. The Z, M, R and the A will do. Some are higher, some are wider, but they all fit in the same rectangle. Now we have already drawn most of the hole we need. It is about 2 cm wide and 3.5 cm high. I think it needs a little bit higher because of the lowercase letters. There we have the G that peeks out a bit. For that I will add a line to it. And the exclamation mark also needs more space, see? So we will make it a bit larger. You can cut it the way you like, but using scissors is the quickest way for me. And if we cut out this rectangle now, we already have a very quick and nice frame. Just poke a hole in the middle. I use a sharp point of my scissors and make a cut toward each corner. Then you can cut the rectangle using small scissors. Do you see I keep my hand underneath the paper? This way I can see best what I'm doing, not having my hand in the way. Also preventing the paper from wrinkling. And this is not the nicest way, I know, but this is just the quickest. If you won't be using this mask often, it isn't a big deal at all. However, for these stencils, I assume you want to make something that is long-lasting. And if a letter needs more space, you can now still cut a small strip off. Let's check if all letters fit in. I think it's fine. I will go for it. If you would use this mask for ink blending as is right now, you would smudge it and you wouldn't be able to use it for long. The colors you use on it will also mix together. So we apply a protective layer over it. The quickest way is to stick white transparent tape on top. You can also use small transparent tape if you don't have anything else. Or use brown white tape, that will do as well. It will just look a little less slick. Also tape the back of the mask we just made. And don't mind that you tape directly over that gap. Fill the paper with strips of tape next to each other, to the front as well as to the back. I try to tape as smooth as I can, but I know it is very hard to tape it without any wrinkles. And it isn't a big of a problem if you make wrinkles in the tape. It won't make any difference for the blending result. It is so hot here in my attic, there is no airco, because mostly it's cold over here. I don't have the patience to do it perfectly, but you see what the intention is. If all paper is covered with tape, then press the middle some extra. And now we also will cut this rectangle, in the same way we did when we made the first gap. You can easily poke a hole with a pair of pointy scissors. And then we cut it all. Now we have made a mask for both lower as well as uppercase letters. If you want to make a perfect mask and if you have a laminator, I will now show you how to make that. Take a T-ruler and hook that to the edge of the workmat. Place the paper parallel to one of the lines on your workmat and tape it stuck. Now you can draw a rectangle measuring 3.5 cm by 2 cm. For both sides you can hook the T-ruler to the edge of the workmat. You can eyeball it or measure it to have it perfectly in the middle, just how precise you want it to be. Do what makes you happy. I took a guess where the middle would be. I don't bother, I'm a bit to the right. I will cut this with a blade. Using a blade makes very straight lines. I could also have cut this with a pair of scissors, like I did in the previous mask. Let's test if it fits. The capital M fits. The Z fits. The A also fits. That is going well. The lowercase b fits, the A and the B, they all fit. The only letter that is a problem is the lowercase letter J. Here you will have to blend the letters separately and you might have to add a strip of tape when blending. At last you add the tittle. Or you could make a special mask for that specific letter. You could add tape, like I did for the previous mask, but what is nicer, and I will show you now, is to laminate it. We have a good excuse to use that tool that is catching dust. Let's turn it on so it can warm up. The laminator sheets I use are 100 micron. That is the thickness of the sheets. I buy them at the Action stores. I also use them to make my own storage pockets to store my stamps and dies. You can watch that video if you want to see how to make them. The link is in the description and in the top right corner. This sheet is way too large, so I can easily cut it. I will cut it a bit larger than the piece of paper I'm going to laminate. It must extend at least 3 mm beyond the paper on all sides. Don't worry that you lose the edge where the two pieces are joined. You can easily do without. Now I have two at once and can laminate another if I want to. The mask sheet with the rectangle cut I now place between the two laminate sheets. You see that there is a tiny border on all sides. My laminator is now ready to be used. Gently I feed the sheet through the laminator, starting with the joined part. I use the laminator sheet part where the two sheets are still stuck together. But if that is not the case, make sure that the mask paper is positioned exactly between two sheets. The shiny side should be on both outer sides. And make sure that nothing sticks out, otherwise your laminator may get damaged. If you insert the paper straight, there will be no problem. If you regularly run a piece of paper through your laminating machine, the adhesive residue will be transferred to the paper and the laminating machine will continue to function perfectly. The sheet is laminated now. The laminator can be switched off. If you heat it too long, the results can get misty for some strange reason. This square we will cut now. For that I use the blade again, but you can also do this with a pair of scissors, of course. And we can now use it to mask off our stencils. I lay the text stencil to the paper first and the mask stencil I made on top. Now we can ink blend and apply as much ink as we want. In between letters I clean the text stencil and the mask, just because I'm used to, but I don't need to now I have this mask stencil. For some letters you might have a gap that is too big. It is inevitable to make a gap for every size letter. To solve that, you will still have to use a piece of tape. Luckily, it is not that big of a gap and it is easily solved. For ink blending, we can even use paste or paint, as long as we clean the mask stencil in between each application. For regular ink, you don't actually need to clean the mask stencil every time. You can use the ink that remains on the mask stencil in between letters. That's better than using masking tape or post-its, which you have to throw away every time. And you also use a little less ink that way. I switched to that other mask we made using transparent tape. And you see that it also works. You use it in the same way. It might probably last less longer because of the seams between the strips of tape. Ink will build up in the seams, making it less attractive and maybe less sturdy after a while. But I don't see the problem. An additional advantage of laminated or taped paper is that you can also use it as a palette. The ink that is still on the sheet can be picked up with a brush. You can use that ink to color an image that matches the stencil text you just created. You can also laminate a plain piece of paper and use that as your palette. You can add ink directly from the ink pad to the sheet and add all colors you need. Useful when you want your work surface clean or want to work on different projects. If this video was useful for you, you can leave a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel Sis Volk yet, please do. I will keep sharing new card making videos with card making tips. For now, I will enjoy a holiday in Sweden, but I will be back with new videos soon when there is a new Carla Creates collection. Until then, you can enjoy my older videos and the shorts that I will share. Enjoy card making! Love you! Bye bye!